I always believed Lisa and I had a solid marriage. We weren't the fairy tale couple, but after 8 years together, I thought we had built something real. Something that could withstand the stress of life, work, and all the other curveballs thrown our way. Lisa was a marketing director at a well-known corporate firm, constantly traveling for business and attending work events. I never questioned it. Why would I? I had my own demanding career in finance, and we respected each other's space. She had her job, I had mine, and at the end of the day we always came home to each other. Or at least that's what I thought. Looking back, the signs were there, but I was too blind, too trusting to see them. The way her phone was always on silent when she was home. How she'd step into another room to take certain calls. The business trips that seemed to get longer, more frequent. The sudden new interest in her appearance. Lingerie she never wore for me. Gym sessions at odd hours. A perfume I had never smelled before. The first real gut punch came on a random Tuesday night. Lisa had gone to a work dinner. Something she did at least once a week. Normally, I wouldn't have thought twice about it, but something about this particular night felt off. Maybe it was the way she rushed out the door, barely kissing me goodbye, or the nervous glance she gave me when I asked what time she'd be back. I tried to shake it off, busying myself with Netflix and a glass of whiskey, but my mind wouldn't let it go. Around 10 p.m., I texted her. Me, how's dinner? No reply. 30 minutes later, I tried again. Me, everything okay? Still nothing. By 11:15, I was done playing the patient husband. I opened my laptop and logged into our shared phone plan. I never had a reason to check before, but now I needed to know. And that's when my stomach dropped. Her work dinner was a blatant lie. She hadn't been at some fancy restaurant entertaining clients. Her location showed a hotel we had never stayed at. My hands clenched into fists as the realization set in. My wife, my Lisa, wasn't just out for a late work event. She was in a hotel with someone. I felt the anger rise in my chest, mixing with disbelief, humiliation, and a deep, gnawing pain I didn't even know how to process yet. But one thing was clear, this wasn't some innocent mistake. This was betrayal, and I wasn't going to let it go unanswered. I stared at the screen, my pulse pounding in my ears. Lisa's location hadn't moved in over an hour. She was still at the hotel. I wanted to be wrong. Maybe there was a reasonable explanation. Maybe it really was some last-minute business meeting in a hotel lounge. Maybe I was just being paranoid. But deep down, I already knew. I grabbed my keys and left. The drive was a blur. I wasn't even sure what I was going to do when I got there. Walk into the hotel and demand to know what was going on? Call her and tell her I knew she was lying? I didn't have a plan. I just needed to see it for myself. The hotel was one of those upscale, corporate places. Neutral beige walls, modern chandeliers. The kind of place where executives schmooze clients and drink overpriced whiskey. I walked straight to the front desk, keeping my face calm, collected. Hey, I'm trying to surprise my wife. She just checked in earlier tonight. Lisa Carter, I said, forcing a smile. The receptionist, a young guy barely out of college, frowned. I'm sorry, sir, but I can't give out guest information. Of course, I expected that. I pulled out my phone, pretending to check something. Oh, never mind. She just texted me the room number, 702. Thanks anyway. I didn't wait for a response before heading toward the elevators. The ride up felt like an eternity. My fists were clenched so tight my nails dug into my palms. When I reached the 7th floor, I hesitated. What the hell was I about to walk in on? I moved down the hallway, my stomach twisting. 702. There it was. I stood in front of the door, every muscle in my body screaming at me to turn around, to leave, to pretend I never saw the location on her phone. But I had come this far. I knocked. Silence. Then, footsteps. The door opened, and there she was.
Lisa.
Wearing nothing but a silk robe, her hair a mess, her makeup slightly smudged. Her eyes widened in shock. James? She gasped, gripping the edge of the door. What are you? That's when I saw him. A man, half-dressed, standing just behind her. A man I recognized. Her coworker. The one she always mentioned in passing. The one she laughed a little too hard at during company parties. The one she swore was just a friend. Everything inside me went cold. Lisa's lips moved, but I didn't hear the excuses she was about to throw at me. I just turned around and walked away. Because now it wasn't just about betrayal. Now it was about revenge. I don't remember getting back to my car. 1 second, I was standing in that hotel hallway, staring at the pathetic excuse for a man Lisa had thrown away our marriage for. The next, I was gripping the steering wheel, my knuckles white, my breath coming in short, ragged gasps. Lisa had been cheating. With him, Derek Matthews, her coworker, the smug, self-important bastard from her marketing team. The same guy who had shaken my hand at company parties, grinning like he wasn't secretly screwing my wife behind my back. I felt sick, not just from the betrayal itself, but from the sheer audacity of it. The lying, the manipulation, the way Lisa had played the role of the devoted wife while sneaking off to hotels with him. I could still see her face when she opened the door, her shock, her panic. She never expected me to find out. Well, now I knew, and she had no idea what was coming next. I wasn't the kind of man to cry in my car. I wasn't going to drown myself in whiskey and beg her for answers. No, I was going to handle this the way it deserved to be handled. With precision, with patience, and with consequences she would never recover from. But first, I needed more than just catching them red-handed. I needed proof, because Lisa didn't just cheat. She did it at work with her own coworkers using business trips as cover. That meant she was leaving a trail, and I was going to find it. I took a deep breath, forcing my hands to steady. Then, I pulled out my phone and scrolled through my contacts. I tapped on a number. It rang twice before he picked up. James? Hey, Mark, I said, keeping my voice calm. I need a favor. A big one. Mark was an IT guy at Lisa's company, and if there was anyone who could get me into her emails, her messages, and her entire digital life, it was him. Mark was hesitant at first. Dude, you're asking me to hack into company emails. You know I could lose my job for this, right? I had expected that. Mark wasn't the reckless type. He was a quiet guy, always kept his head down, and didn't take unnecessary risks. That's why I needed leverage. You won't lose your job, I assured him. You're just helping me access something that's already there. And besides, I let the words hang, then delivered the punchline. You owe me. Silence. Then a heavy sigh. All right, what exactly are we looking for? Lisa's emails, messages, travel records, anything that proves she's been screwing around with Derek or anyone else. I want details, dates, locations, conversations. If she's been using work as her cover, I guarantee you'll find something. Mark exhaled sharply. This is crazy, man. What's crazy is that my wife has been lying to my face for months. What's crazy is that she's probably not just screwing Derek. She's using company money to do it. That last part got him. All right, Mark muttered. Give me a day. I ended the call and leaned back in my chair, exhaling slowly. My mind was already racing ahead, piecing together my next steps. Because here's the thing, this wasn't just about catching Lisa. This was about destroying her. Lisa had built her career on her perfect reputation. She was seen as a rising star in her company. If the executives found out she was using business trips to sleep with coworkers, if there was proof that she had misused company funds to cover up her affairs, her career would be over. Her credibility, gone. Her life, ruined. I wasn't just going to expose her. I was going to burn everything she had worked for to the ground. And when I was done, she would have nothing. The next 24 hours were brutal. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Lisa in that hotel room, her silk robe barely covering her. Derek smirking behind her like he had one. But he hadn't. Not even close. By the next evening, Mark called me back. His voice was tense. James, you're gonna want to see this. I met him at a quiet bar downtown. A dive where no one asked questions. Mark slid into the booth across from me and handed over a flash drive. I pulled everything from Lisa's work account, he said, lowering his voice. Emails, travel itineraries, even hotel invoices booked under the company card. But dude, this is so much worse than just Derek. I frowned. What do you mean? Mark rubbed his temples. She's been sleeping with at least 3 different guys at her office. Derek's just the most recent. The world tilted for a second. 3? I clenched my jaw and plugged the flash drive into my laptop, my pulse hammering as I opened the files. And there it was. Email after email. Lisa scheduling business trips with Derek. Booking 5-star hotel rooms under the company's name. Then another thread with some guy named Ryan from accounting. Same pattern. Late-night messages. Explicit details about how they'd sneak away during conferences. And then, a third name, Michael. The damn VP of her company. My hands tightened into fists. Lisa wasn't just having an affair. She was climbing the corporate ladder on her back. Mark shook his head. I don't know what you plan to do with this, but man. She's screwed. I exhaled slowly, my mind already calculating. Lisa had lied to my face. She had humiliated me. Now, I was about to return the favor. I wasn't just going to ruin her marriage. I was going to ruin her career, her reputation, and every single man stupid enough to get involved with her. This wasn't revenge anymore. This was justice. I stared at the files on my laptop, my blood running ice cold. Lisa had turned our marriage into a joke. She wasn't just cheating. She was weaponizing it, using her affairs to manipulate her way up the corporate chain. Fine. If she wanted to play dirty, I'd show her what real destruction looked like. Mark, I said, my voice steady, controlled. How airtight is all of this? He let out a slow breath. Enough to get her fired. The emails, the hotel bookings, even the company card charges. If this gets out, she's finished. I nodded. Good. Now let's make sure it does get out. I spent the next 2 days crafting an anonymous email. It had everything: screenshots of her emails, details of the hotel stays, timestamps, receipts. I attached every damning piece of evidence I had and addressed it to her company's board of directors, HR department, and the CEO himself. The subject line? Urgent. Internal misconduct and ethics violation, Lisa Carter. I scheduled the email to send Monday morning at 8 a.m. sharp. Right as everyone settled into their offices. Right when the entire company would see it. I wasn't stopping with just her job.
No, Lisa deserved humiliation.
I took everything, her texts, her photos, her little flirty messages with Derek and the others, and packaged it into a neat little folder. Then I created a burner social media account and scheduled a post tagging her, her company, and, just for fun, her entire damn family. The caption? When your perfect wife turns out to be the office mattress. Enjoy the receipts. The post was set to go live minutes after the corporate email landed. A double detonation. Step 3. The final knife twist. But my favorite part? The personal touch. Lisa was hosting a company event this weekend. A networking dinner, full of clients and executives. Her big moment. So I printed hard copies of her texts and emails. Stacks of them. And I mailed them anonymously to the venue. Right before dinner service, a waiter would deliver a beautiful envelope labeled, "To the esteemed guests of tonight's event." A personal look at Lisa Carter's networking strategies. By the time Lisa realized what was happening, it would be too late. This wasn't just revenge. This was annihilation. And the best part? I'd be watching it all burn from a distance. Monday morning arrived like a storm cloud, dark and charged with electricity. I barely slept the night before, too eager, too wired. By 8 a.m., the corporate nuke had been launched. I sat at my desk with a fresh cup of coffee, watching the chaos unfold in real time. First, the company-wide email hit. Mark texted me the second it went live. Mark. Dude. It's F***Andy bloodbath here. HR is losing their minds. The CEO just called an emergency meeting. I grinned. Lisa's entire department was in shambles, scrambling to contain the fallout. They couldn't. By 8:05 a.m., the social media post went live. It spread like wildfire. People love scandal. Within minutes, the comments started rolling in. Damn. This woman is running a whole damn escort service in the office. She climbed the ladder with her knees. Holy SHT. Isn't that the company VP? She's fing the execs too. Lisa's family, friends, and even her coworkers were all tagged. People she had spent years impressing now had front row seats to her downfall. Then came the best part. That evening, Lisa was set to host her company's networking dinner. A crucial night. A night where she would have been standing in the spotlight, shaking hands, smiling for cameras. Instead, as guests settled in, a waiter discreetly handed out sealed envelopes. Inside, printed copies of Lisa's explicit emails, the hotel invoices, the messages between her and Derek, right in front of her bosses, right in front of her clients. And then my phone rang. I picked up. Silence for a second. Then,
Lisa.
Her voice was shaky, panicked. James? What the F*** did you do? I smirked, leaned back in my chair. Oh, sweetheart. I just made sure everyone knows who you really are. I could hear the chaos in the background. Raised voices, gasps, the murmurs of people reading through her filth. James, please, she stammered. You don't understand there. I cut her off. Losing your job? Your reputation? Must suck, huh? I let the words sink in. Then I whispered, now we're even. And with that, I hung up. Lisa had spent months lying to me. Now she would spend the rest of her life paying for it. I didn't hear from Lisa for the rest of the night. No calls.
No texts.
Just silence. I imagined her standing in the middle of that networking event, surrounded by her horrified bosses, clients, and coworkers. The perfect career woman, now nothing more than office gossip. I wasn't done, though, not even close. The next morning, I got a call from Mark. Bro, she's finished. Asterisk. I leaned back in my chair, sipping my coffee. Tell me everything. HR pulled her into a meeting first thing this morning. The CEO was there. Legal was there. She tried to deny it, but dude, there was too much evidence. Emails, receipts, texts. It's airtight. I smirked. So what happened? They fired her on the spot. Security escorted her out.
No severance. No references.
Just gone. I let out a slow breath. Good. Lisa lost her job. Her reputation was in the dirt. But I wasn't done ruining her life yet. I wasn't gonna let Lisa try to crawl back to me, begging for forgiveness. I wanted her to fully understand that her old life was over. I had my lawyer serve her divorce papers that afternoon. She called me the second she got them. I picked up. Her voice was raw, broken. James, please. We need to talk.
No, Lisa.
We don't. I lost my job. I lost everything. She whimpered. I cut her off. That's not my problem. Can we at least meet? Just once. I chuckled. Meet where? At a hotel? You seem to like those. Silence. Then her voice cracked. James? I ***** up. I know that. But you don't have to do this. I laughed. Lisa, I'm only getting started. And then I hung up. She deserved every second of this. Lisa didn't take the divorce papers well. Too bad. By the next morning, my lawyer confirmed she had officially been served.
No delaying. No negotiations.
I was walking away with everything, the house, the savings, and my dignity. She called me again that afternoon. I let it go to voicemail. Then another call. And another. I finally answered, just to enjoy hearing her fall apart. James, please. Can we talk? Her voice was hoarse, desperate. About what? I asked coldly. How you threw away our marriage for office hookups. Or how you turned yourself into a joke in front of your entire company. She sniffled. I made mistakes, okay? But you ruined my life. I let out a small laugh.
No, Lisa.
You ruined your life. I just made sure everyone saw it. Silence. Then, a choked sob. I have nothing left, she whispered. No job, no money, no one is returning my calls. Even Derek won't talk to me. Ah, that was the best part. Derek, her pathetic little affair partner, had gotten hit hard too. His wife found out everything after my anonymous tip. She left him, took the kids, and wiped out his savings in one brutal move. And at work, he was put under investigation. Turns out, sleeping with a subordinate on company time violates a few ethics policies. I leaned back in my chair, savoring the moment. That's rough, but not my problem. Lisa's voice broke. Where am I supposed to go, James? I smiled. There it was. The woman who had once belittled me, cheated on me, lied to my face, was now begging me for help. I decided to give her one final answer. Try checking into a hotel, I said. You seem to be good at that. Then I hung up. Lisa was officially alone, and I was finally free. Lisa didn't call again. She finally understood. I wasn't coming to save her. But I wasn't done yet. She had one last thing that still tied her to me. Her name on our house. I wasn't about to let her walk away with anything. My lawyer was already a step ahead. Since Lisa had lost her job and was hemorrhaging money, she wouldn't be able to afford her half of the mortgage payments. And since she had been using company funds to finance her little hotel meetups, she was legally on the hook for financial misconduct. That gave me the perfect excuse to file for full ownership of the house. It didn't even take a fight. Lisa was so buried in her own mess. *** jobless, broke, reputation destroyed, *** that she couldn't contest it. 2 weeks later, I watched from my car as movers carried out the last of Lisa's things. She stood on the sidewalk, a suitcase at her feet, looking lost. No job, no money, no home. She turned and saw me, her face unreadable. For a moment, I thought she'd come up to my car, maybe beg one last time. Instead, she just stared. I rolled down the window. Not so fun being homeless, is it? She swallowed, eyes glistening. You really hate me that much? I took a slow breath. Then I shook my head.
No, Lisa.
I just finally love myself more. Then I rolled the window back up and drove away. Lisa was officially out of my life, and I had never felt lighter. Lisa had nothing left. She tried crashing with friends, but after the scandal, no one wanted to be associated with her. Even her own family distanced themselves. I heard through mutual friends that she was staying in a cheap motel. She had no job prospects, no way to pay her bills. And the best part? Derek blocked her. All those men she threw our marriage away for? Not a single one wanted her now. She was finally feeling the loneliness I had felt for months. It didn't take long before Lisa broke. One evening, my phone buzzed. A text from her. Lisa, James, please, can we just talk? I didn't reply. An hour later, another message. Lisa, I have nowhere to go. I don't know what to do. Good. She had destroyed our marriage without a second thought. Now she was drowning in the consequences. And I had zero sympathy. Lisa's texts kept coming. Begging. Apologizing. I never answered. Then, late one night, she showed up at my door. Tired. Makeup smudged. Looking nothing like the confident woman who once lied to my face. James, please, she whispered. I just need help.
Is there here?
Let the silence stretch. Then I smirked. Help, I said. Like the kind you gave our marriage? Her face crumpled. I stepped back and shut the door in her face. Lisa didn't leave right away. She knocked again. Softer this time. James, I have nothing. I opened the door just enough to look at her. Cold. Unmoved. You made your choices, Lisa. I paused, then smirked. Now live with them. Her lips trembled. For the first time, I saw real regret in her eyes. But it was too late. I shut the door. And this time, she didn't knock again. Lisa never contacted me again. Last I heard, she left town. No job. No friends. No future. Meanwhile, I moved on. New home. New life.
No baggy.
One day, I saw Derek's ex-wife at a coffee shop. She smiled. Maybe revenge wasn't just about destroying Lisa. Maybe it was about finally being free. And I was.